Welcome back, all our 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ here with Tim's Nation, joined once again by Mr. Lane. And we will be giving you another Warhammer 40K battle report. Today, I will be bringing the Canoptek Harvest back, revitalized, re-envisioned, revigorated, and reanimating, to face off against Lane and the Iron Hands. A very interesting choice for you today.
I thought I was done with Iron Hands because I tried them a couple times. They're all right. And I ended up getting the Iron Father Pharaohs model. I'm like, well, I got to run Iron Hands at least once. Instead of some Black Templars Iron Hands or some other chapter Iron Hands. Nope, they're just Iron Hands. So
I feel like that's that should be a bumper sticker for 40K. I swear I'm done.
Right.
I swear I'm done. I'm not buying any more models.
I can quit anytime I want to.
Right. There's a reason why they call this plastic addiction. So anyways, as always, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do. Turn on the bell for notifications to get notified on all the content that we bring you here on the channel. As for myself, I'm going to be covering all of the different detachments. Unfortunately, my computer crashed during mid-upload, so you're actually going to get my Canoptek Court detachment talk about. It's probably going to come out sometime with the actual video, so that one's probably going to be coming out at the same time, so the timing on those isn't going to be perfect. But as well, with that, with some of these codexes we see, some rules are getting, there's a little bit of a deeper dive into the meticulousness of how rules interact, such as keywords, which I did a video following up and talking about that and talking about how some of the stuff interacts. We'll try and talk about that more in the game, if it affects in the game. But I also did a brief little video on that as well. Lane, you said you're going to start making some stuff up, especially as we get some more detachments and stuff for Marines, Votan, Custodes, Death Guard, Imperial Knights.
Yeah, at some point I will do that. You can keep, don't hold your breath. It'll be at some point. I can't promise when.
At some point. But needless to say, we are still going to be bringing you all the content that we bring you here on the channel, such as our army battle reports, which you can check out beforehand. So we'll just give you our brief abridged version of what we're bringing today, as well as just some other cool random content. Both of us are going to be traveling to Canton this weekend to Battlegrounds and Board Games for their tournament. This is the list I will be taking, and you'll be bringing Deathwatch, I think you said?
Yeah, it was probably going to be my Deathwatch. The list it's been a while since I've had Deathwatch on the channel, so maybe we'll do that again sometime
Secretly,
soon.
Lane's afraid, so he didn't want to give me any opportunities to get the leg up on his Deathwatch. Shh, don't tell him.
Well, after you've gone over the special keywords and stuff, I don't have any anti-infantry tricks in the Iron Hand. So the Deathwatch
that is definitely a huge thing that I was looking into and found. Because in my list today, I'm actually bringing the Crypt Thralls back. And one of the concerns I had is because they joined the bodyguard, they're infantry. So I was like, well, wait, if I take these Crypt Thralls, now I'm making my units susceptible to anti-infantry since wraiths are beasts. Yeah, try saying that. But then after looking deeper into it, it was a moot point because the Technomancer is infantry. And once that character is attached, boom, that's stuck. And if you want reference on that, check the keyword section of the app, not the rulebook. In the app, checking keywords, it will actually show you and gives you an exact example of a character with Psyker being joined to a unit and the whole unit being affected by anti-Psyker. And I assume as the codexes come out and as the edition grows, it's not going to be completely game-breaking, game-changing, but it's probably going to come up more and more frequently.
It's already been present because in Custodes, the Alaris Terminators, they have the ability to re-roll all wounds against vehicles, monsters, and character units. And so up until this point, it's always been assumed that a character unit is any unit that a character has joined.
Right.
So this is just kind of an extension of that. So if you have an infantry character, which is odd, it doesn't happen that often, but if an infantry character joins non-infantry unit, which they sometimes do, that unit now has the infantry keyword attached to it. So anti-infantry stuff would affect these beast models.
It's definitely more of a Xenos thing. I think that you might get a little bit of effect with it in Deathwatch because of some of the mounted and infantry that way. But I think that with that, if you were doing that, probably as a Deathwatch player, you'd probably go, okay, I am affected by anti-infantry because I have infantry units in here. Now we look at this and see and go, oh, wow, that's more of effect. The only one that bothers me, and I was complaining about this while we were setting up, is Castellan robots would then be affected by anti-infantry weapons for having a data smith with them. And
I mean, they've got feet. They're infantry.
yeah, no. So that one, I have to look more into the codex and see if there might be something with that. But that one bothers me a little bit. That one bothers me a little bit onto it. For them, I feel like that should hopefully maybe be addressed at some point in time. Or maybe it's the fact that Games Workshop just really doesn't like Castle and Robots.
Yeah. No, this is not their edition. There's always next edition.
Yeah, right. So, all right. I think that's it. We've basically said everything to go into this. At the end of this year, going into next year, we are going to start our tournament for our title belt. We're already in the works on that. And get our armies and crown our first nation champion, national nation champion. All right, guys. So let's get over and talk about these armies and these lists we're going to be bringing today. Lane, let's talk about these Iron Hands. What do you got for me?
All right. Today's Iron Hands are led by 4 characters. We do have Iron Father Pharaohs. We've got 2 Tech Marines. One has the Adept of the Omnissiah, and the other has the Target Augury Web. And, of course, we do have a Calidus Assassin. We have 1 5-man squad of Incursors. The points are kind of weird, so I had to squeeze these guys in here. It wasn't really my intention to take them, but we'll see what they do today. We've got 3 3-man squads of Plasma Inceptors. We have 1 6-man brick of Aggressors. We have a Land Raider Redeemer. I don't have the weapons on it yet. I have the weapons other than the sponsons, but it is a Redeemer, so it has the twin flame cannons on it. We've got 3 Whirlwinds, and then we have a Thunderstrike Speeder and a Hammerstrike Speeder. DJ, what is it that you are bringing today?
Now, from the depths of the Necron tomb world arise, the Canoptek harvest. Again, and again. And probably again, because I love my Canoptek units, and this is the Canoptek Court Detachment. So once again, a lot of this is similar to what I was running before, with some very minor changes due to actually getting Codex in my hand and seeing some of the abilities and buffs that I could take. So we got 3 Canoptek Doomstalkers, 2 Canoptek Tomb Sentinels, 3 2-man squads of the Canoptek Spiders with the Particle Beamers, 2 6-man squads of Wraiths. Now, one of them is going to be led by a Technomancer with no enhancements, nothing special there. The other one will have the enhancement Dimensional Sanctum to allow me to infiltrate, and then we'll have 2 Crypt Thralls attached to it for a little extra buffs if they're in a bad position. And then last, surely not least, is the 10-man squad of Immortals. The Immortals will be led by a Chronomancer, which gives them the Fire and Fade, moving 6 inches after they shoot, as well as a Overlord with Transdimensional Shroud. So he is able to give them an auto advance 6 and basically ignore everything in their way. But more importantly, he can treat a battle tactic stratagem as 0 command points, which means I can give these guys devastating wounds all game long for 0 command points. And that's normally a 2 CP strat. And that is going to be a very, very critical part of this army. Seeing that was a battle tactic was huge for the Immortals. I considered running multiple units. Points. Points. Eventually, it starts really getting up there in points. And I know a lot of people have really liked the Plasmancer. So the Plasmancer is another Cryptek model. He gives critical hit rolls 5 up on the unit instead. And I know that's been definitely a prominent point that a lot of people have been running. I feel like that's a one-and-done mechanic. And yes, we have the strat to make us lone op, but now by doing it this way with the Chronomancer, I can use that lone op strat on something else. And that to me seems more efficient in the long haul.
Yeah.
On top of it all, I know a lot of people have been running the Nightbringer and the Transcendent Catan. You know what? I can completely understand why.
Yeah, he's real strong right now.
He is. And one thing we noticed during the first game, which is what got me, what kind of got me off into the, how do I put this? So when we first played, I had all those rerolls to hit. And I really, really pushed the fact of, haha, I can just run this stuff at you. And it did. And it hit you a bunch. But it was just like they came running at you and everything just made contact. And then he stood there and went, oh, that was pretty. Yeah. And that's kind of where it felt like it was. So I wanted to get more damage output. But myself being more of a defensive player, I feel like the Catans don't play as well with my style. Now, I'm not against it, and I may try them. There's a couple of other lists and ideas with the other detachments that I do want to use them. These, in this style, the Spiders give more to my defense by being able to hit from range. So I think that is going to be a better play for me personally as a player, And again, playing to my strengths. What are your thoughts going into it?
Yeah, it seems like the Catans. I mean, they only have a 6-inch move too, right? So they're it's tricky
So the
position.
spiders.
Yeah, but the spiders still contribute more from further away. So I think
And they're good in combat.
Yeah, and everybody knows the Catans are good. So we're trying to show you something a little bit different. Maybe something else is good.
I like to try and steer away from the normal per se. And over time, you know, you win some, you lose some. But there's been more times than not when by the time we get to a tournament, I'm able to bring something unique. And it's like, oh, I may be playing a strong, powerful army, but I'm not playing all the overpowered units. So that's always been, and that's one thing that I like about the game, especially because you got to like what you're using. And for me, I love me some spiders. I love me some spiders. Like seriously, Halloween decorations, spiders. I got a commander deck for Magic the Gathering, spiders. Maybe I was a spider in another life. I'm trying to get my wife to buy me the little Lucas the spider. I think he's adorable. That's all I want for Christmas. Hashtag DJ needs Lucas the spider. I'll take him with me to every tournament. Pin him on my shoulder like my little parrot. Let's make it happen.
Let's make a lot of thought into this.
Let's make it happen. 2024. Actually, no, that all just happened right there. I'm not even joking.
I'm like, how much planning was put into this bit?
Literally none. That was just all right there on the spot. I was just thinking, oh man, I could do that stuff. All right, so I only got one thing left to do, and that's roll this dice. But however, I want to let our viewers know something. There was a little Easter egg in my last video against Drakari. I wanted to see if anyone noticed. Lane left me a Spoils of War right here. I know it's hard to see. That is a Votann dice, and this is what we will be playing for today.
All right.
If Lane wins,
Spoils of War is more of a consolation prize, I think.
Yeah, because I'm going to give it back to him anyways. I'm not going to be that guy. But in order to retain your Votann dice, you must defeat me today. If he loses, this will remain in the box. And from that point, Votann must come and get it back. This is the one shot I'm giving at a non-Votann list to get it back. And that is our Iron Hands today.
All right.
So now all that's left is to determine who will be deploying first. Mr. Lane, odd or even?
Even.
And it is odd. So I will... Yeah, you can deploy first. I was trying to think if there was any reason for me not to, but yeah, you can go ahead and deploy first. And as always, we'll be back after deployment. All right, we are deployed. So, Lane, why don't you talk to us about what we are doing here today, other than playing Warhammer?
Well, today's deployment is Dawn of War. So, as I always say, this is the way God intended us to play Warhammer. This is how I always played way back in 2nd edition, so I'm always happy to see when this comes up. So Dawn of War deployment today, our mission rule is supply lines. So in this mission, if you control your objective marker in your deployment zone at the start of your command phase, you roll a d6 on a 4-up, you get a command point. And then our primary mission today is Sites of Power. So this one, basically, you get 3 points for controlling an objective in your command phase. However, the objectives in the No Man's Land, you get a bonus 3 points if you have a character unit controlling it. A character, I believe the character itself has to be on. Yeah, the character itself has to be within range of the objective.
Now, you still score 3 points for your home objective, though?
You do score 3 points in your home objective. You don't get the bonus for holding it with a character. The bonus for holding it with the character is only in No Man's Land.
Got it. And I have 4 characters, 2 of which are attached to 1 unit. What about you?
Yeah, I've got 4 as well.
4 as well. All right. So at least that's an even playing field on this. Now let's talk about deployment. So for the Necrons, I have both the Sentinels are in Deep Strike. They're sitting in reserve. They're in strategic reserve. And then as far as everything else, I have the Doomstalkers here. Now I've made Lane, with having a smaller army, I made Lane push that he had to put his Land Raider down before I made my final decisions. It doesn't mean I'm fully countering it, but at least it puts me in a better position. So I was able to position my Doomstalkers to kind of draw some firing lanes and be able to try and put some damage on that thing before it gets over to me, as well as being able to utilize their Overwatch to possibly pick on the aggressors when they start coming upfield. I have Spiders in position to be able to move on all 3 objective markers, whichever or wherever the game play goes. I have the Immortals able to move up to center. They're more or less looking at objective markers 4 and 3, further ones they can play onto, but they're able to still get into a decent lane in position to counter the Land Raider, being the fact that the Land Raider kind of has a designated path of drive. These Wraiths over here were one of my first drops. They're probably going to have to change up how they move. They could easily move up and try and wall out the aggressors inside that Land Raider, but that will not end well for them. So it would be a wall, and it'll be a matter of decisions to see how some things go and how some things are able to work. And that's going to be the overall tide of war on how and where they go. But at least their speed, they're in position to do a lot. These wraiths over here use their infiltrate, and they're in a very, very strong position that if I go first, this battery of whirlwinds is actually in a lot of trouble. Not necessarily from getting destroyed, but being at least shut down for a little bit from some shooting and stuff like that, just so that I can tie them up. Now, those are vehicles, so they can shoot out of combat. So even if I tag them, they are still able to shoot. But being able to make a -1 to hit, I don't know. Will that stack with the artillery rule?
Nope.
So it won't do actually that much. But at least it's definitely not something that Lane wants. I guarantee Lane would rather me not charge him with the wraiths as opposed to charging him with the wraiths.
I want you to destroy one of those whirlwinds so that Tech Marine gets angry and get to use a special rule. Angry Tech Marine.
No, not again. There's no Silent King for him to eat this time. Now, let's jump over there to Lane. What do we got going on over here?
Well, I put my Land Raider with the aggressors and Pharaohs in it way down on that side. I decided not to run it up the middle. I kind of put the whirlwinds in the middle here. So he's going to go and try and take that objective on the side there and make that ours forever and ever. There is the Tech Marine next to that. That Tech Marine has the Adept of the Omnissiah, so he can zero out one failed armor save for the Land Raider once per battle round. And then right here on the middle, our on-field objective, we've got 3 whirlwinds all crowded around that Tech Marine who has target augury web. That means that all vehicles within 6 inches of him get lethal hits, so the whirlwinds get lethal hits as long as they're near him. And then we've got the Calidus Assassin up here a little bit closer, and then we've got the Incursors here. They do have a scout move too if we want to.
Got your hand in the way. Yep, there they are hiding. Yeah, and so they can scout move. No, not the ones that infiltrate in.
Yep, and I've got 3 squads of Plasma Inceptors in Deep Strike and the 2 different Speeders in Deep Strike as well.
And those are very, very mean as well. The good thing is that like they're 3 damage, so at least they don't kill a Wraith entirely on 1 hit. But again, they are 3 damage, which means that some other stuff like my Spiders and that, they fall into a really good damage column against weapons like that. Not to mention the fact that they can deep strike within 3 inches. So they could shut off a power matrix on me just if I don't have enough OC on it. Because what's their OC value? Is it 1 or is it 2?
Yeah, it's just 1.
Just 1. So, I mean, if I don't have enough OC on it, that's something they could do. So, all right. Only one thing left to do. So, Lane, what do you want in this? You looking to go first or second?
Yeah, probably first, because you got those guys that are forward deployed that can cause me problems by charging in turn 1. So
wow, so am I actually. That's a first. That's a first that we're looking to go first. All right, let the dice decide. And it looks like it will be Lane going first with a 6 on that. All right, so you have your scout move as you talked about. And where do you think you're going to do with them?
Well, it depends on what secondary. No, I guess
nope, you got to do that first. Yep.
Yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and just get out here. Yeah,
you're just going to move them out a little bit in front?
Yeah, I think it's a 6-inch scout move, so we'll move them there so we can get on objectives and start forcing you to come out to see me.
All right, well then we will go over into Lane's turn. We'll be back after Lane's movement phase.
All right, so we just scooched up. This is the pregame move for the Incursors. I decided not to move them anymore. I did move this Whirlwind up within 9 inches of them, but DJ opted not to spend the strap because I oathed these guys, the Immortals. I would like to kill these, but I know I need to get rid of these guys. So I was trying to play do a little bit of gamesmanship by putting my oath on these, hoping DJ be less likely to run these guys too far away from me. We'll see if that pays off or not. And then the Land Raider just moved up here. I could have put this Tech Marine on to this objective, but I know these Wraiths would just swarm him and kill him right away on the next turn. So I did not. I kept him back here.
Or the Doomstalker. Doomstalker could just absolutely obliterate him.
Well, he has
lone operative.
He has lone operative when he's within 3 inches of a vehicle. Okay. So he has lone op, but your Wraiths would just swarm him and chop him up. But he's only got 4 ones. So Yeah, so we're going to do some shooting. Hopefully we kill some things because I need to make some of this stuff go away. The Calidus did move up, so she's within 6 inches of the center because I pulled deploy teleport homers, and I also did overwhelming force. So DJ very smartly did not put these guys on an objective when he deployed them here. So I won't get overwhelming force for killing them.
This is actually one time I was actually thinking about that. I'm like, wow, why would I, if I put these on objectives, that'll be bad.
Yeah, we're playing Warhammer now. All right, I'm going to do some shooting. So we got all our royal ones within 12 inches, so he couldn't
lone operative strat.
Lone op me. But still didn't do that much work, and I even popped off the sustain strap. But 4 up invulns and crypto thralls and that stuff. So what did we picked up 2 wraiths and 1 crypto thrall. So did a little bit of damage, but no.
I want to come over here to the crypto thralls real quick. So we're not sure 100% because the tournament we're going to has had some weird ways with the thralls before. So the way we're treating it is I can still reanimate even if 1 thrall is alive. Technically, the thralls become part of the bodyguard unit. They change everything. So even if the thralls die, I should be able to reanimate them all game long. But with this specific location, kind of having a different wording on it, we're trying to kind of meet in the middle since I haven't heard back yet. Just going by as long as 1 thrall is alive, I can still reanimate thralls. So, but go on to what your Land Raider and stuff.
Yeah, Land Raider didn't do anything.
Yeah, it just moved up and got
he
ready.
doesn't have any eyes on any target, so he's just waiting for somebody to stick their head out. So we score just 3 points for deploy teleport homers. Overwhelming force is a 0.
You can't discard it for a command point because you gained 1 already.
I'll probably hold on to it too, because you're going to have to get on some objectives if you want to score points. That's how the game is played.
And my power matrix too.
Yeah. All right, on to DJ's turn.
All right, so we got overwhelming force and secure no man's land. So secure no man's land we did 3 times over. This way these wraiths that I have over here actually can get a little more aggressive and make charged plays into here. So what I did with these guys was I reanimated, and I got 1 back with 1 wound, which actually now that we're at the end of the movement phase, I can heal him with the techno, which I'll do in just a moment. Watch, I'll probably just get 1 back anyways. But I moved and did the mortal wounds to these guys, which if you've seen some of my tech videos
to the whirlwind.
before, yeah, to the whirlwind.
Yeah, not the guys.
So I was able to do quite a bit with their move over strat because it bases on how many models are in the unit. And yeah, I have quite a bit extra with the characters, with a character in the crypt thrall. So I was able to get a couple more dice to be able to do the damage on that. Moving over here, we got the mortals moved up in the middle to take that objective and be able to just pepper shots on the Calidus to get her out of here as quickly as possible. And then these wraiths moved up and got overwatched, and we lost 1. And but we did take the objective from lane, and that's where we're kind of going to stand with that. Just enough so that we can keep our power matrix and be able to move forward with the wraiths. Now over here, the Doomstalkers are in position, so all 3 can shoot at lane's Land Raider, which he's not going to be able to armor a contempt, but there is no way I'm getting this thing out of cover. Oh, you do. You have 1 command point, so you could armor contempt.
Yeah, because I got the bonus one on my turn. I got the bonus one for the mission,
which I did not. The dice didn't like me as much with that. So all right, well, you're going to do some shooting and see how things pan out. Also, I got the spiders moved down positions. These guys are here to put extra shots into the Marines, and then these spiders here are just going to spray and maybe get some devastating wounds on the Land Raider. So we got a lot going into that Land Raider. We'll see how it plays out. All right, time to do some shooting. I can say I was very, very, very happy with that shooting phase. So dev wounds for days is a thing. So the race moved up, and as I said, they did some damage, and we double checked on it. It's once a model moves over a unit, then I roll a dice for each model in the unit. So these little crypt thralls in the wraith actually help to give me more dice to drop him down to 7. Now, I didn't do any damage in the shooting phase to him. Instead, I wanted to pick up these Marines. So with a combination of the wraith's pistols as well as the spiders, we were able to hit and remove those Marines that were hanging out back there on the objective right before we charge. Over here, the Immortals that were up on this point, they used the Fire and Fade from the Chronomancer, but they picked up the Calidus first and foremost. We did not use the Devastating Wound strat, so that wasn't able to be vected at this time. How that triggers and how that works is still a very questionable thing that you might want to ask a TO. We'll talk about that later on. But for this, I just wanted to err on the side of caution. I figured I had enough Tesla in there as it was just to remove and take him out. Then over here, with a combination of the Wraiths, all 3 Doomstalkers. One of them got zeroed out from the Tech Marines ability, but we were able to put all 3 Doomstalkers, plus the Spider's devastating wounds, plus the Wraith's devastating wounds, and we finished off the Land Raider. Beautiful things have occurred. All that is left is to make a charge move, and we're going to charge with these Wraiths over here, and we'll be back after resolving their charge. All right, so Wraiths obviously made that successful charge, and I didn't want to fully move away, so I moved up to 8 inches. So we kind of just went in a line, keeping my character back on the objective marker in case we can score some points on the special primary rule, and then it was only able to put 4 Wraiths into combat with Lane's vehicle. Again, these guys are not anti-vehicle galore, so he's still alive with 3 wounds, and that vehicle was mad, and he did hit and wound all 3 times. Saved him, but he hit and wound 3 times. So for the end of the turn, I'm going to score 3 points for overwhelming force for finishing off the Land Raider, and I did get 5 points for secure no man's land because I currently control all 3 objective markers at this moment in no man's land, just at the time being. So we're going to pass it over to Lane, and I have a feeling these aggressors have something to say.
Start aggressing. Okay, so I pulled Storm Hostile Objective. And
but you had Storm Hostile Objective. You kept that over. Oh, no, Overwhelming Force.
I kept that Overwhelming Force. Yeah, kill things on objectives. So what I'm going to do is I fell back with the Whirlwinds here. I didn't realize that basically everything in DJ's army had devastating wounds. So these Wraiths will probably pick up this Whirlwind in the fight phase. It's not going to be great. I'll probably get charged in turn 2, but maybe he'll stick around for a little bit. Who knows? Probably not. But if he does manage to survive, then they'll still pick him up in his shooting phase. So he'll get the charge afterwards because they have pistols. So we brought the aggressors forward, and Pharaohs managed to squeak on the objective. We deep struck the speeder. This is the hammer strike that takes away cover. And then we deep struck 2 squads of plasma inceptors and a thunder strike. And we're going to try and kill this Doomstalker, which we put the Oath of Moment on.
And also over here, when Lane moved the aggressors up, I fell back with the race. I wanted to kind of conserve them. With where his move was, it put me at about, it puts me at the bare minimal for him to declare a charge with the aggressors, which would mean he needed boxcars to hit me. So, felt like a good move.
You've been rolling a lot of 6 on your dev wounds. I can roll a couple 6s on my charge. So I'm going to do some shooting, and then we'll see how it goes. Okay, so shooting did some work. First of all, over here, we completely whiffed. We should have recorded that, guys, because you would get the... I mean, we would lose our rated D for everyone rating, because I said a lot of bad words. Because the Inceptors, the aggressors, shot all their shots and did 0 damage? Yeah, 0 damage to them. There's a couple of wounds there because of the speeder shot them, but that's it. Oh, also in the speeder shot, he got 2 melta shots through and rolled a 1 and a 2. So it didn't even kill one of these guys with meltas. So sadly, yeah. And the aggressors fired all their bolters and all their grenades and did 0 damage. So that was a bummer. We did pick up this Doomstalker.
Mm-hmm.
And then we picked up a 2-man squad of spiders and then 1 spider from this squad. And that's really it. As far as secondaries, we did Storm Hostile Objective, and we did get 1 for Overwhelming Force because we did the Doomstalker was touching that objective in the back there. So I did score. It's probably 3 for that for 1.
Oh, hold up, sir. We still have a combat over here at the race.
No, we're all done.
Uh-huh.
We're all done.
My race are going to get to punch you.
So be it. They're going to punch my Whirlwind. The Land Raider may be gone, but this Whirlwind will not yield. He survives with 1 wound, which is what I wanted. I moved these guys back here because I know that in DJ's shooting phase, because they have pistols, they'll be able to pick this thing up because their pistols have dev wounds, but they won't be able to move. So then they can make a charge here, but because I moved back, it's an 11-inch charge, so we're safe there. I didn't have any charges I made, so he just swung into me. It did 2 damage, so he's Whirlwind still there with 1 wound. And that's it. On to DJ's turn. Oh, for points, I did Storm Hostile Objective and got 3 points in Overwhelming Force because I did pick up 1 thing on an objective.
All right, so we got bring it down and extend battle line. So we got to get our home field objective marker back. I did not get to roll the dice for an extra command point this round because Lane had taken my home field objective away, and I'm not happy about that. Got to get it back. So how things rolled out. So we reanimated, and we got a Wraith back here, and then we remembered to heal at the end of the movement phase, so he's back to 3 wounds. And we're going to try and pistol whip the Whirlwind into Oblivion, since it's got 1 wound left. And that'll also help because we got bring it down and extend battle lines. My Sentinels came in from reserve and are tagging objectives, so they get the Armor of Contempt buff. And they're going to shoot and try and take these plasma buddies off of this objective. We're going to use the 1 command point that we do have to give them ignore cover, and hopefully we'll just pick those guys up real fast. And if that's the case and that works out real well, then we have a lot to be able to put into this 1 single speeder, from spiders to the Tesla Immortals, to Doomstalker, to these spiders over here. And those spiders at least have a 6-inch charge to go onto the Plasma Inceptor. So I'm kind of, in some ways, hoping that I leave 1 left alive in that first squad. Wouldn't be too bad, but we'll see how that goes. I mean, honestly, they have to go away in order for me to sort of extend battle line. So that is priority numero uno. So these Wraiths moved away, going into center. Now, I did not get a character over there for the extra bonus points because I wanted to heal the spider up so that it was an Overwatch target. Unfortunately, only got 1 heal there, but it's still got a heal. And I did get a spider back on reanimation. So that's what we're looking at. And yeah, let's do some shooting and see how this all works out. All right, as requested, we're going to try and get some more dice rolls here. So right now, we are about to unload this brutal squad, the Tesla Immortals. This has been a huge talk about the internet, and they are going to shoot at this big old land speeder. So, for starters, we have the stratagem that give for 2 command points that gives this unit devastating wounds. However, my will be done on my Overlord makes this stratagem cost simply 0 command points. So right now we have 20 shots, hitting on 3s, re-rolling everything. And they will be getting double sustained hits on 6s. So this is going to be fun. And then on top of that, we have the devastating wound effects. And since this unit is not within range of an objective marker, we will only re-roll once to wound, but it still should, hopefully this will be a lot of damage. So first of all, we need to hit. So we need 3s to hit, re-rolling everything. Oh no, I dropped the dice.
One on the floor. All right.
Ha! And then I pick it up into a 6.
So far, you've only missed 3.
But because of this factor, what we're going to do is we're going to take all these 6s and we're going to scoot these over here. Because what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to fish.
So this is just par for the course today. DJ has been rolling way too many 6s. That is an unreasonable number of 6s.
It is a very reasonable number of 6s.
That's 9 6s. Off of 20 dice?
And I just rolled another one in the pocket. Okay. So the ones... Oh, man, I missed with 4. All right, so each one of these 6s is 2 additional hits. Give us just a second to factor this out. And Lane said he's going to be courteous and help me pick this up. So all these 6s.
I don't know about that.
These are all hits.
Feeling salty.
All these 6s turned into this many dice. So that was, what was it, 13? So 26 additional hits.
Yeah, so you had 20 shots and got 13 6s with your rerolls.
Nice. And now...
Absolutely obscene.
Now, only 6s would matter here anyways. What's your toughness?
Toughness is 9.
Oh, so 5s would wound you.
5s
and
wound.
We will be re-rolling 1s. So let's see how many more 6s we can get. Oh, not as many as the first batch.
Well, you ran out of 6s. You got a lot of 1s to reroll.
I do have a lot of 1s. So
might convert. I'm going to help you pull them out.
Thank you. Oh, there's one more 6 in there to go to the pile. This one's cocked, so I'm going to re-roll this one.
These are 1s.
All right. And then you can... Oh, nope. Because remember... The 5s do wound.
All right, let me pull out the 5s.
Yes, then. Just pull out the 5s, and then everything else is trash.
Okay, so I think
that's all trash. And then
reroll 1, so you get 1 more dev.
Yep. So we got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mortal wounds so far, and then you have your saves.
And then I got 6 saves here. 3 up saves, no AP, right?
No AP.
Okay, so we lose 3. And then we lose 3, so we lose 9. So he's down to 2 wounds.
Hey! Wait, there is a chance.
Yeah.
We do have a Chronomancer stave, which I forgot about. So D6 shots blast. Here can I roll a 1.
No.
Called it.
You've had enough 6s.
Do I get bonus points for calling it? He hits. Doesn't wound. Okay, so that is where we will stop with the onslaught on this guy for now. All right, so finishing out the shooting phase. After the mortals dropped the speeder down to 1, if I had full rerolls, they would have definitely done that by themselves, which is disgusting. How many wounds is that thing? How many wounds was the speeder?
It's 11 wounds, so you did 9 wounds.
Yeah, 9 wounds with them without full rerolls, with only rerolling ones. That's huge. The spiders over here were able to finish off, being able to punch through the devastating wounds. And then with a combination of a sentinel failing horribly and a sentinel being just awesome, the definition of awesome, and these 3 little wraiths, Mr. Technomancer.
He did better because you sculpted him up.
Exactly, because I spent an extra 2 hours on his build. Yeah, because he is definitely hugging a rock in all epic sorts of positionings there. If I can get a good view of him, there he is. Yeah. But with that combination, then I split these 2 spiders up because I wanted ideally just to have one plasma inceptor left alive, so I could charge with the spiders and get them out of the direct line of sight. And that's where we're at. The Doomstalkers did not go at the plasma inceptors. Instead, I mean, he shot his Gauze Flare, which did well, but they shot over at this boat. It nearly killed it if it wasn't for the Iron Priest being able to zero out a wound.
Failed armor save. Yeah.
Failed armor save, and leaving him with just simply 2 wounds left. We got very, very close. So, but we did pick up 2 more vehicles. The second vehicle was over here because my race had those particle caster pistols, so they finished it off. Now what we got left to do is some charges, and the only charge really I think that's going to happen here is those spiders into that last home Mamma Jamma. And just like that, Lane did opt to save his command point instead of trying the Overwatch to take out the spider, and the spiders took out the one last plasma inceptor and taking the home field objective back and getting a little more hidden. So the whirlwinds could go at them, but that's about it. Oh, speeder probably could get over there. So that's going to finish out the turn. I got a 7 for Bring It Down and 5 for Extend Battle Line. So we're going to kick it over to Lane to start off turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, start off turn 3.
All right, for secondaries, I pulled Defend Stronghold and Secure No Man's Land. So I circled the wagons here to defend my stronghold. Secure No Man's Land, it's going to be tricky. I'd have to kill a bunch of wraiths, and they're super hard to kill. I'd drop the Inceptors in here to get on that objective, but they're only OC1 each, so it's not going to. I'd have to kill a lot of wraiths. And then the aggressors just scooched up so they can do some shooting. So that is it for my movement. I'm going to fire some bullets and see what they do.
All right, so Lane is within 12 inches, so I cannot use the strat to stop him from shooting the aggressors at the wraiths. So we're going to try this a second time. I still have a dude with 1 wound on them. 1 wound left, I should say. And yeah, so Lane is going to put quite a bit of firepower. What are we looking at here? And are you using any strats? That's the big question, right? Is it worth it?
I'm not going to use the strats because I would get sustained, but they're not a vehicle, so it would only be sustained.
Sustained 1?
6s, yeah.
Okay.
And there still need 5s to wound. Yeah, it's not my old target. I'm just trying to pick up a couple of those guys. Here we go. So this is the number of grenade shots. They still does have more than 5 models there, so it's D6 for the grenade, blast, kind of a middling, couple of 1s there. But, offset that with a 6. Probably a little below average. 5, and then I get 6 more because of blast. So we are going to be hitting them on 3s. We're going to be AP1 because it's the nearest eligible target. We're ignoring cover because the speeder tagged them first. The hammer strikes tagged them so they don't get cover. So we'll put them on the 4-up. So, okay. Characteristically for today, this is a really bad roll, as has been the
What's the strength on them?
4.
All right, so you need 5s.
Now I need to hit you first, DJ.
Oh, this is hits?
So, yeah, more than half are 1s and 2s.
Oh.
Outstanding.
Sweet.
There we go. 5s. Oh, look at that. I got 3 out of all those dice.
All right. And so
On
these
your
are on my
4-ups.
Oh, I'll go through damage.
1.
All right. So the guy that has 1 wound left. Feel no pain. Good. Dies. Okay, so he's dead.
What? Are you sure I killed something?
The other one takes, well, another one takes a wound. So you got that so far. Now what do you got else?
All right, these are the bolters on them, the Bolt Storm gauntlets. So these are the ones that are twin linked. I got to hit you first. Oh my God, why am I rolling all 1s and 2s? Once again, more than half are 1s and 2s. 3, 6,
and then
9,
what
10.
is the strength of the weapon? Strength 4 again?
Yeah, it was 10 out of 18. These are strength 4, so they're 5s. They're twin length, though. So I 0 none on the first one. Oh, here we go. I got 2 wounds, DJ.
Did you re-roll any of your Iron Hand re-rolls?
Sure, I'll re-roll a hit. Still misses.
Okay, so you got 2?
Yeah.
All right, 4 up invuln, right?
Yeah.
First one. Ooh, takes it. 1 damage.
Yeah.
Second 4 up invuln. Takes it. So we got 2 feel no pains on the guy with 3 wounds. Ooh, he takes them both. Look at that. Look at that, Lane. You're doing damage.
All right. And our boy, Ironfather Pharos, misses with 2 of those, but it is sustaining 2, so he gets 3 hits. Strength 5, though, so he still needs 5. Nothing. Okay. So all those bullets, I got how many wounds through? 3? 4.
4, because you finished off the one guy.
Okay, so you guys got to watch as the aggressors absolutely and totally whiffed into these guys. To be fair, they were not my Oath of Moment target, and I missed with more than half of my shots for because I was rolling all 1s and 2s. And then we killed a couple of these wraiths. I think the dice are definitely in DJ's favor. And this is not my most competitive build. It was just a funsy build, but yeah, we're not doing enough killing here. So we're about to get kind of overrun by all these nasty Griblies that are all over the table. Scored 3 points for secure no man's land because I have 1 objective in no man's land, and then defend stronghold completes at the end of my turn. So over to DJ.
Man, I got a secondary I really don't like to score. This is rough, guys. It's going to get really rough. So I got investigate signals and behind enemy lines. And that investigate signals, man, I have to stop shooting to do it. So Lane is giving me a look right now.
I'm so sad for you.
So the Doomstalker here is going to do it, as well as these spiders are going to do it for me. So I'm going to get 4 points on that. As far as everything else, we got this Doomstalker in position. He's going to shoot down and try and hit some of these aggressors a little bit. These spiders came out, and they're going to be able to help finish off the Plasma Incessors. These wraiths moved over and did a bunch of mortal wounds to them.
5. To be clear, DJ got to roll 6 dice, and on 4 ups he did mortals. He did 5 mortals out of 6 dice.
I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to say it. And then over here, we got the Tesla Immortals that are in lane to try to take out one of the whirlwinds. And then this Tomb Sentinel's in position to help finish off a couple of things down the center, whether it be the Plasma Inceptors, if I need to do some more damage to this land speeder. So there's a couple options there. The only one that doesn't really have options is the spiders, which could only shoot at the Plasma Inceptors, and this Doomstalker that can only shoot at the aggressors. Otherwise, we got a couple options. So, all right, let's do some shooting and see how this happens. All right, so finishing up the shooting and more or less finishing up the game, all the joking aside, we're getting to the end of it. So the Tesla Immortals moved up, shot, and then moved back over here. They were able to take out the Whirlwind all by them lonesomes with the help of their Chronomancer. Chronomancer finished the job, left them at 1 wound, and then the Chronomancer did the job. These wraiths combined with the Sentinel over here, as well as, did I put anything else? No, it was just
the wraiths shot him.
Yeah, these wraiths shot at the Tech Marine and put him down to 1 wound. These wraiths shot at the boat, which had 5 wounds left, as well as the Sentinel, which actually the Sentinel was able to get some damage through too. And their combination finished off the speeder. The Spider, combined with the failure of this Sentinel, were able to finish off the last of the Plasma Inceptors. And then we did a little bit of damage to the aggressor's long range from the Doomstalker being able to utilize Blast and its high 3 damage. So we're going to do some charges and then kick it over to lane, and I think we're going to be able to move through this game relatively fast. All right, so finishing out the Necron turn, we did successfully charge and kill the Tech Marine, which now we contest this objective with Lane. Originally, we took it, but then the Whirlwind punched and killed my last Wraith.
Yeah, I mean, people don't know. The Tech Marine gets angry when you kill vehicles near him, but the vehicles also get angry when you kill a Tech Marine.
Man, not fair, not fair. I call a judge on that one. So for the end of the turn, we did score behind enemy lines. We do have one unit back here with the squad of the Wraith and the Techno. And we will get 4 points for investigate signals where the Doomstalker and the Spiders were able to pick up. So now we're going to kick it over to Lane. And this will probably be able to move through this game relatively fast because Lane has 3 units left. So here we go for Lane's turn 4.
All right, so on my turn, I pulled Assassinate. I was stuck with Defend Stronghold because I didn't score it at the end of DJ's turn. So we're in a bad position. So these guys fell back and then got Overwatched, and 2 of them died because the Doomstalker Overwatch on 5s, and they were rerolling all their hits. And then this Tech Marine moved up to charge here because I pulled Assassinate. I was going to try and kill that character. He is an angry Tech Marine, so he does get 6 attacks with his axe, but he failed to make the charge. It's a long charge, 9 inches. So we tried to reroll it, didn't get there. That's the end of my turn. Didn't score anything. On to DJ.
All right, so for my turn, I got Defend Stronghold and Capture Enemy Outpost. So this one was real simple. We moved the Immortals out. They were able to move out with a translocation, and I fell back from the Whirlwind and let the Immortals do their job, which was just absolutely eviscerate, and they picked up the Whirlwind. So now we control Enemy Outpost. Now all that's left is to defend Stronghold, which we have this Doomstalker here, which there's no way realistically that Lane's going to be able to get to it with his last 2 models on the table. And that is going to end my turn. So I will score Defend Stronghold at the end of Lane's turn. And we're just prepared for engaging all fronts. Oh, the Sentinels here moved up and exiled the Tech Marine that was trying to get greedy with it. So, all right, over into Lane and his top of 5. All right, so out of context here, or not at the normal, let Lane, in your turn, what did you do?
Well, I didn't pull any secondaries I could score. So what I did was I fled off the objective, just trying to deny DJ any additional scoring abilities or anything, because it's the last turn. I don't need to hold the objective anymore. So I just moved off of there and made myself a little bit harder to hit, which turned out to be effective because DJ tried to shoot them in his turn, and what happened?
I failed. So this Doomstalker rolled a 1 for his shots and then just absolutely whiffed to wound.
Rolled 2 1s to wound. Yeah.
I did have Assassinate on a secondary, but I also had Cleanse. And Cleanse was very, very easy because I controlled everything on the board. We tried moving up. We got over here, but unfortunately we were not able to fully, completely obliterate and table the Iron Hands today. The Iron Father and his 1 aggressor will live to fight another day. However, into my turn, we just kind of cleared out, past the battle shock with the Wraiths, took a ton of objectives, and scored out the game. Very happy with this, with a final score. What was your points again? I'm sorry.
You gonna make me say it out loud?
I forgot. I legitimately forgot. I'm sorry.
Iron Hands, 48.
Iron Hands, 48. Necrons, 100. Redemption feels so good, especially after the shellacking Lane delivered to me last week.
Oh, this means I don't get my dice back.
This means you have to bring the Votan for vengeance.
All right.
All right, guys. Stick with us. We'll get the post game done, and thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again very soon.